Hello and welcome to this free recorded webinar on Azure Fundamentals and Career Path Guidance. As you know, my name is Jabbar. I'm cloud computing and generative AI expert, and I want to congratulate you for signing up and joining this webinar or listening this webinar. This clearly indicates your spirit, your dedication, and your zeal to learn cloud, to learn Azure, and advance your career to the next level. I understand we had planned this webinar on January 11th, but due to some technical reasons, we could not do this. And hence, I've decided to record this webinar and share it with you all. And we see huge demand for Azure and cloud professionals in the market right now, as companies are in a rush to adopt cloud, to adopt Azure, especially with the revolution of generative AI. Azure professionals are in huge demand, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly how you can become a cloud architect, a DevOps engineer, or a platform engineer, so that you become a highly demand professional in the market right now. So without further ado, let's get started and see how you can become a great Azure architect or a DevOps engineer or a platform engineer. Okay. Before I dive deep and explain you more about the various things I have outlined for you, I want to introduce myself in a detail a bit more here. I know some of you may know me or some of you may not, and I don't want to boast about myself, but want to introduce myself in a more detailed way so that you know who is being taught to you. All right. So I started off my journey with ADP in the year 2012, where I helped them in setting up their Windows Active Directory, VMware servers. There was no cloud back then, it was all virtualization, so I helped them there in their Windows and VMware space. And I also was part of their frontline support for various technical issues. And then in the year 2016, I was invited by Microsoft through Mindtree to join their team in helping their customers adopt cloud, leverage various technologies within Azure, such as compute, storage, and networking. And then I help their customers in a very detailed way to leverage cloud, especially Azure. And then in the year 2018, Deloitte USA invited me to join their team for helping their clients in leveraging Azure and setting up various applications, migrating workloads to Azure. And then in that year 2022, I got an invitation from Deloitte UK to join their team for to help their clients. So I possess huge and rich experience in the cloud. I've been in the Azure space right from the days when it was just coming up, when it was still in initiation. So, and hence I'm best placed to help you in learning Azure and advancing your career to the next level. All right. So there you go. It's me again there in during AWS reInvent session at Excel London. So yeah, before I dive deep and tell you more about Azure, I want to start off with this quote from Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, where he said every company is a software company. There is a reason why he said that, and I want to outline, and I want to bring that to your notice here right now, because I want to ensure that the money, the time and the efforts that you're spending in learning Azure or cloud should not go waste, and it becomes profitable to you. So it's very important to assess the demand that's there for Azure professionals or cloud professionals right now and in the future ahead. So Microsoft, Satya Nadella said every company is a software company, and the reason why he said this is because let's take a look at different companies in the different industries. Let's say General Electric, which is in falls under manufacturing industry, that manufacture big trucks and lorries. And then you've got Siemens that manufactures electronic devices. And then in the mechanical field, we've got giants like Volkswagen and Toyota. And then in civil, we've got L&T and SEC. And then retail, we've got Walmart and Home Depot. And the consulting field, we've got Accenture, Deloitte, and TCS. So the point that I want to make is, irrespective of their businesses, which are in different sectors altogether, they do need skilled cloud professionals, skilled Azure professionals, they do need software to succeed in their business. And that's what Satya Nadella said. And then even though these companies are in different sectors, they would leverage IT for their businesses, and hence you will be in demand if you learn Azure, if you learn cloud. That's the point that I want to make here. Right. So let's see what the demand of cloud computing right now. Okay, because we are making a big decision to learn cloud, to learn Azure. So it's very important to assess the demand. Is there a demand? Will you get a job if you learn this? Will you be valuable? Those are the questions that I want to answer here. So here is the report from Gartner that's forecast worldwide public cloud end user computing to reach $679 billion in 2024. Okay, so the demand is continuously increasing. You can see business needs and emerging technologies including generative AI drive cloud model innovation. As I said initially, with generative AI, the adoption of cloud, the adoption of Azure is going to increase, and hence you will be in demand. You will be invited to join different firms for your skill sets. Okay, and there is similar report from Gartner again that says cloud will become a business necessity by 2028. Okay, so there is a huge demand for cloud professionals, especially Azure right now. Now, let's see who are the top cloud computing providers in the market right now. Here is a graph from Gartner. Here is the magic quadrant, and as you can see, AWS is obviously leading, but followed by Microsoft and Google, and then Oracle there in that leaders quadrant. But Azure, as per this article, Azure is poised to surpass AWS. Yes, you are seeing it right. Azure will eventually beat AWS and become the top cloud provider in the market right now. So if you learn Azure, you will be in huge demand. Okay, as you can see it on the screen. All right. So, what are the cloud roles that are in demand? What are the various roles that are available in the market? So, there is an Azure engineer role that where you do hands-on task, like you configure Azure services like virtual machines, databases, and networking and storage. And then cloud solution architect, where you architect the applications that are hosted on Azure. Okay, and then there is a DevOps engineer, and then platform engineer. So these are the few roles that are in huge demand right now. And here is the salary that you can expect if you happen to be one of these. This is just a conservative figure. Okay, so Azure architects can earn somewhere between 12 to 41 lakhs, and then Azure engineers 6 to 13, DevOps engineer 4 to 10, and platform engineer 5 to 10. So huge demand again in the market. So before we look further and see the various aspects of learning Azure, as I promised, let me explain to you few fundamental cloud concepts, as I promised in my introductory video before. Okay, so who is this course for? This course covers foundational knowledge on cloud concepts like cloud architecture and Azure management, and this course is aligned with Microsoft certified Azure fundamental certification. And who is this course for? This course is for new cloud learners who want to better understand cloud technology and want to become Azure cloud certified. Well, IT background is ideally recommended. However, if I'm there as your instructor, I'll try to demystify things. So even though if you're not from IT background, I'll ensure that you slowly get on track. Okay, so learning path outline. You will learn the following concepts here right now. Cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Shared responsibility model, cloud models, capital versus operational cost. What are the benefits of cloud? Cloud service types like IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. All right. So what's the objective? You'll learn cloud. You'll be able to define what is cloud computing, cloud models including public, private, and hybrid, identify appropriate use cases for each cloud model, describe the consumption based model, and then compare cloud pricing models. right? So what is cloud computing? Well, cloud computing is essentially the delivery of computing services over the internet, enabling faster, innovative, flexible resources and economies of scale. So what used to happen before is that, let's say, you have got a retail store. Okay, let's assume you own a big supermarket. Okay, and you wanted to have your own website so that people sitting at home can order your products from that website. So if for that, if you had that website developed, you had to host it, right? You have to host it. To host it, you need to buy a server and locate it within your store somewhere or in your data center, then host your application there. Then people would be able to go to your URL like www.yoursupermarket.com and order your services from there. But with cloud computing, what happens is you don't need to buy a server, you don't need to buy a compute or a networking or a storage space. You can request it as a service from cloud providers like AWS, Azure, and GCP, and you can quickly go over there and provision your servers and host your application there, and your clients would be able to go to your website and order your products. So that's how easy cloud computing has made. And with this, what are the advantages? That it's faster, because you don't need to buy server, host it in your room, and it doesn't take huge amount of days for the server to arrive, and then you need an IT professional who can go and configure things. So things happen over the fly in a quick turn of events. You can quickly go and order your or provision your services from cloud providers. Okay, and then, so let's see what are the various cloud computing models that are there. So one is, as I said, private cloud, public, and hybrid is there. So private cloud, this is suitable for organizations that create a cloud environment in their data center. So let's say if you have a company, if you have your own supermarket, as I said, if you want to provision a cloud environment within your data center, you can then that would be called a private cloud. So organizations are responsible for operating the services they provide. It does not provide access to users outside of the organization. So typically, let's say if you have a private cloud, what it means is that if you have a website, then that's running on your cloud, your server, then it means that only your website will only be accessible within your supermarket. Okay, that's what you can understand it as, and that's what it is. And then the other version is public cloud. So public cloud is owned by cloud services or hosting provider like AWS, Azure, or GCP, and provides resources and services to multiple organizations and users. And it's accessed via secure network connection, typically over the internet. Okay, you can go to internet, go to portal.azure.com and access Azure resources over there. So it's public, it's hosted by providers like AWS, Azure, or GCP, whichever you choose, and that provide resources to services, and multiple organization can request it. Okay, and then the third one is hybrid. That's a combination of public plus private, to allow applications to run in the most appropriate location. Okay, so let's say you've got a data center already. Okay, you have your stuff running in your data center, and because of some security reason, you don't want to move everything from your private cloud to public. In that case, you can think of leveraging private plus public. Okay, this that will give you the best of both the worlds. Okay, let's compare three of them: public, private, and hybrid. No capital expenditure to scale up. Okay, and then hardware must be purchased for startup and maintenance, because here you don't need, because you only pay for what you use. And then hybrid cloud provides the most flexibility. Applications can be quickly provisioned and deprovisioned. Organizations have complete control over resources and security. Organization determine where to run their application in the hybrid cloud. And then in public, organization pay only for what they use, as I said. Okay, you let's say if you have provision a VM. Okay, as long as you use it, you'll pay it. If you don't use it, if you don't delete it, you don't need to pay anything. But here, since you have to order the entire servers, rack and host it, you have to spend the money upfront. So here organizations are responsible for hardware maintenance and updates because they are hosting that hardware. In hybrid, organizations control security, compliance, or legal requirements, and organizations determine where to run their application. Okay, so this is a brief overview of three cloud models. And then um, the other thing that cloud computing does very well is it removes the capex. Okay, that is one of the major benefits, the upfront spending of money on physical infrastructure. So before, you need to buy entire server, entire racks, and host it in your room and run it. And obviously, for you to buy it, you need to spend money. Okay, but that has gone away with the advent of cloud computing, and you don't need to spend capex, capital expenditure. You only need to do operational expenditure, spend on products and services as needed, pay as you go. Costs from capex have a value that reduces over time. Okay, so what this means is that today, let's say if you've bought a big rack or a server, then 2 3 years down then obviously that value will go down. So that's the point that's trying to highlight here. Whereas in opex, operational expenditure, you get billed immediately. Okay, you get billed for what you use. Consumption based model. So cloud service providers operate on a consumption based model, as I said, which means that end users only pay for the resources that they use. So that means better cost prediction. You can predict how much cost you may have to bill by the end of the month, okay, based on your usage obviously. Then prices for individual resources and services are provided, and billing is based on actual usage, so you pay for what you use. Okay, let's look at the other slide. So cloud benefits, in this, the objective of this, we'll see describe the benefits of high availability and scalability in the cloud. I'll explain what that means. Then describes the benefit of reliability and predictability. We'll see reliability and predictability, and describe the benefits of security and governance. And then we'll also see the benefits of manageability in the cloud. So the benefits of cloud. Why do I need to use cloud? Why can't I operate in a traditional way? Okay, here are the benefits. Cloud is highly available. Okay, so if one region goes down, let's say your server is hosted, let's say in Hyderabad, then if that goes down, then a new region would be available. Highly available, scalable, it can scale. Then the predictability is that you can predict how much cost you have to incur. And then there is a governance, and then there is elasticity, reliability. You can rely on cloud. You don't have to worry because cloud providers take care of it behind the scenes. And there is a cloud is secure, and cloud is easily manageable as well. You can just go to internet, go to public.azure.com and manage your resources from there. So these are the benefits of cloud or Azure. So let's see what are the various cloud services type: IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Um, so infrastructure as a service, as I said, is hardware. It's all infrastructure. Infrastructure is offered to you as a service. So that's the reason it's called infrastructure as a service. So what does infrastructure contain? It contains servers, storage, networking, firewall, security, and data center, like physical plant building. Okay, so uh, build pay as you go IT infrastructure by renting servers, virtual machines, storage, networks, and operating systems from a cloud provider. So let if someone says that they are using infrastructure as a service, what they basically means is that they're using virtual machines, storage accounts, networking, okay, and things like that. Those are all infrastructure as a service offerings from a cloud provider. And then platform as a service. So what platform as a service provides an environment for building, testing, deploying software applications without focusing on managing underlying infrastructure. So when you opt for a platform as a service, you don't need to worry about your server. Okay, the cloud provider takes care of it. You just need to worry about the your application, your coding, okay, the way you host it, because underlying part is managed by the cloud provider, so you are not responsible for it. You just need to make sure that you are writing the right code, and then you just go ahead and push it on your server, and the rest is taken care by the cloud provider. So what are the offerings that form that fall in this category are like Azure Web App Services, Function Apps, Logic Apps. These are called platform as a service. And then let's take a look at the software as a service. So software as a service is software is offered to you as a service. Okay, Gmail, you use Gmail, right? That's a service, that's a software. Okay, you don't worry about where Gmail is hosted. Okay, you are also not worried about how it's coded. You're just using it. That's a software as a service. Same is an example like Microsoft Office 365, email, and calendars. All right, so here is a shared responsibility model. This model talks about who is responsible for what. Okay, responsibility always retained by the customer in case of these things. And then let's start off from here. Okay, in the on-premises world, traditional world, everything was the responsibility of customer. As you can see here, it's denoted by a dark blue. It's all on-prem, everything, your server, your application, your code, everything is the responsibility of the customer, because they are hosting in their premises, in their data centers, so they are responsible of it. Now with cloud, let's say within cloud, if you use IaaS services, that is infrastructure as a service, then you are responsible for information and data, your mobile and PCs, accounts and identities, identity and directory infrastructure. Okay, applications, networking, and operating system. So who is responsible for physical data center, physical network, physical host? It's the cloud provider, here in this case Microsoft. Okay, then similarly PaaS operating system, you don't need to worry about it, because with PaaS, it's cloud provider, Microsoft takes care of it. However, for identity and directory, application, network controls, it's half 50% you are responsible, 50% Microsoft. But for your information and data and mobile and the devices and account and identities, it's you. Okay, but with SaaS, more responsibilities go into the fall in the bucket of cloud provider, and you own a little, you only own these three. And identity and directory infrastructure is owned by both cloud provider and customer. Okay, so this is shared responsibility model, very important, very important for you to understand how Azure works. And when you really do hands-on work, you have to keep this in mind. So cloud service comparison, let's compare IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. The most flexible cloud provider service, obviously, it's flexible because you have the option to have control over your operating system, be it Windows or Linux. We can configure operating system like the way you want. If you want to change any libraries, if you want to make any modification within the operating system, you can install custom applications on it, so you have got more flexibility over there. You configure and manage the hardware for your application, like you configure your virtual machine, that's what it means. Then with fast pass sorry focus on application development, so you just need to focus on application development. Don't worry about the hardware part like VM, operating system. It's all taken care by the cloud provider. And platforming and management is handled by the cloud provider, as I said. With SaaS, pay as you go pricing model, user pay for the software they use on a subscription model. So with SaaS, you don't need to worry about anything, just focus on using the software and pay the money as you use it. The rest is taken care by the cloud provider. All right, so I hope that was informative. Now let's see the demands of cloud architects and engineers. Okay, let's say if happen to become one, will you be in demand? Will you be get paid? Will you get a job? That's a primary question that everyone has in their mind. That's a valid question to have, and here is the answer to that. Cloud Why cloud architects make big bucks, from David Linthicum. He is one of the renowned cloud expert. From his he says, survey after survey will tell you what most hiring managers already know: you can find good cloud architects, but it will cost you. So good cloud architects, if you become a good cloud architect, you will get paid more. And there is another article from him that he says why we need both cloud architects and cloud engineers. Okay, and there is a notion in the market right now that generative AI is going to take your jobs away. That's what he tries to address in the above below line. He says AI based design and development is exciting, but does not replace sound solid architecture and engineering in build and deploying cloud based solutions. Okay, so you will be in demand, you don't need to worry. Just learn the right stuff, right technology with the right tutors, and you will become a great cloud architect, engineer, or a DevOps engineer. Right. So how much will you pay? Will you get paid? Here is another chart um, that talks about DevOps and platform engineering salaries. You see, on an average in North America, platform engineers are paid whopping $187,000, and then in Europe it's $104,000, and then similarly in for building platform and DevOps engineers earn 1,779,000 dollars, or 1,70,166. Sorry, and similarly in Europe you can earn 94,000. So there is a huge demand, as I said. Okay, so there is one common certification or a learning path that you need to choose, or that you need to go through in order, if you, whether you want to become a cloud architect, Azure engineer, or a DevOps engineer, or a platform engineer. And that one certification or one learning path is of Microsoft Azure administrator. Okay, this is a mandatory for you, irrespective of what you want to become, whether you want to become an architect, a DevOps engineer, platform engineer, or Azure engineer. You got to have this. Okay, and that's what this is. The Azure Administrator Associate is not only one of the topping certificates, it's also most sought after Microsoft Azure credential. Okay, an average salary that you can expect is somewhere between 80,000 to $126,000. Okay, all right. So, and that's the reason I'm going to start starting an Azure administrator cohort. Okay, where I'll be teaching you about virtual network, storage, compute, identity, security, governance, and more. Okay, so I'll be starting an Azure administrator cohort from February 1st, and then I'll be teaching you all this. Okay, and besides that, in addition to that, I'll also be teaching you about AZ-104 exam prep. How do you need to prep for the exam? I'll be helping you there, and I'll also be giving you interview tips. Okay, to get a job, resume tips. Then I'll also guide you with career path guidance on if you want to become a cloud architect, engineer, DevOps engineer, or a platform engineer. Irrespective of what you want to become, I'll help you there. I'll help you in guiding that, and I'll also and the way I'll help you is I'll share you free training resources for your self learning. Okay, well, I believe that you need to have that curiosity. I'll obviously give you great foundations on which you can build your career, but I'll fill you with curiosity so that you can, once you go out, you need to be a learner forever. That's how you succeed in this industry. So I'll be filling you with that. Okay, so why should you opt in for my cohort? Well, you can look at the reviews what people have worked with say about me. Here is Usman Majid, who's senior manager at Deloitte UK, who I worked with. He says Jabbar is a skilled and knowledgeable SME. We worked together across several projects where he demonstrated deep knowledge in architecture engineering and helping solve complex client problems. And then then he said more. And then here's Kishan Patel, manager at Deloitte UK. He says Jabbar is a skilled engineer and architect. He puts a lot of effort into self-learning, exploring new ideas, and developing new reference architectures, and then so on. And then here is Chris Warren. He is the director. He was the director at Deloitte UK. He says, Jabbar, thank you so much for the message. It was a pleasure to work with you at Deloitte. You are very talented. Well, I'm thankful to him for that. So this is the reason you should join my cohort, where I'll help you hands-on and getting cloud knowledge and getting that high-paying job as a cloud architect or a DevOps engineer or a platform engineer. All right. Thank you so much. Hope this was helpful. So do let me know if you are interested, and then I'll help you in your learning journey. Right? And so, what's the pricing? So the pricing would be, oh yeah, so it would be a 4 to 5 weeks cohort, okay, and daily 2 hours of live interactive classes, weekends excluded, and then I'll be charging 14,999 for that,